All right, we're talking about the family portion of the Cornerstone today, which is a really important aspect of your life. For most people, they're fueled by their families. The relationships inside with their spouse or their kids makes them want to get up and go to work each day. So we got to talk about this. Now, many of you are thinking, well, I don't have a family. I'm not married, I don't have kids, or I'm not in any kind of relationship that will lead to that. Well, I actually think that you're in a better spot than the people that are already there. Because the best time to build your family and the best time to become that good husband or that good wife that you really want for your life is to do it in advance. If you think of almost everything else that we do, we always think in advance. We plan first, then execute. But when it comes to marriage, it seems like we get into marriage and then we go, oh, what are we doing? Where's the manual? Where's the counseling? Where's the books? Where I think this is a great way to really design and build your family well in advance. And inside our family aspect, if you want to grow a family, you got to figure out what your hopes and dreams are, and you have to figure that out. You have to develop that. Why do I want to build this family? We're going to talk about the 4 areas that are going to be the building block for your family. Those are, you have to grow your marriage. You have to grow in your parenting. You have to grow with your extended family. And then you got to create a culture. You got to build a culture inside your family. And that's what's going to last well past your lifetime. So let's talk about the first one, your marriage. This is the relationship that you have with your spouse. Not your kids, not your brother and sister, not your extended family, just you and your spouse. For me, there's 4 different areas that we look at. This protector-partner relationship. This is really important. This is a defensive role. This is where you're trying to find out the things that are going to trip you up in your marriage and protecting your spouse from them before they ever happen. So for me, I protect my wife not only physically, but I'm also looking after her emotional stability, her spiritual stability, and then the things that she's involved in. So I'm watching, I'm looking for her weaknesses, things that may attack her, things that may hurt her, and trying to stand in that gap. And the same thing with my wife. She's partnering with me inside my weaknesses to protect me from myself. And the second one is the provider-promoter. Now sometimes both the couples in a marriage will work and earn the financial responsibilities for the household. But for my wife and I was going to be the provider, but she was going to figure out how to promote me. So when I was going to work and I was doing different activities, sometimes I'd be given tasks that were too big for me. And I'd have to talk with my wife and we work together as a team. Even though she's not on the clock, she really is promoting me in my career. My career built faster because she was in my life. The third area is this preparer-supporter role. This is where you really unify in a marriage. You have to prepare the plans that you're going to have, the goals and the visions of the family, and then you have to support those. Regardless of who makes the plans, both parties, once they come out of that area where you're talking about your goals and dreams, you have to be committed and ready to move forward. You can't be a person or a silent partner that says, I don't like that goal, and then not execute on it. You need to support the visions and the mission of the family, whatever you guys decide. Now, typically one or the other couple will become more dominant in the preparation of the plans. One's more of a goal setter, one's more of a servant. So you're going to have to figure out your strengths. But again, prepare the plans that are going to get you further toward your dreams. And then both of you guys have to be 100% on board. And then the last one is you have to have purity inside your marriage with commitment. Men, you have to be free from sexual immorality. You have to be free from the love of money. You have to be free from the love of your ego. And you have to be free from the love of your own pride. Because a spouse is going to want to connect with that. And you have to be committed to helping the other one in their own sexual purity, in their own financial purity, in their own egotistical and prideful purity. Be committed to those things inside your marriage. So again, if you want to build a marriage, figure out what your hopes and dreams are, then address each of these components. All right, the second component of the marriage is the parenting aspect. Once you have your marriage set up, you're going to start having these little kids. There's a natural desire to extend your family through your children and through the next generation. And when it comes to parenting, you can go to bookstores and find shelves of parenting books. But I want you to be a little bit strange, and I want you to think a little bit differently. And this is how we've thought. Once you've decided what your parenting goals are and what your objectives are for your kids, I focus on 4 very specific areas inside them. 1, their spiritual development. Figuring out how they're going to connect to something that's bigger than them. How does the world work? And answering some of those big questions. 2, their character development. How are they going to learn honesty and integrity and not to lie and to be loyal and devoted and hardworking? Some of those traits need to be taught by me. The third one is life skills. How to do the laundry and iron and cook for themselves. These are just basic necessities that people need to get through life. And then the last one is the academic development, helping them in their academics, whether you're teaching them and supporting their teachers in school, or whether you're doing your own self-teaching at home. You have to think a little bit more unique and creative in this area, because kids aren't adults. They don't want to be structured, but they need structure. They need discipline. They need to be shown these ways to develop inside their life so that they can continue and do good as they grow into adulthood. But don't forget to be unique and fun and creative in that process. I feel like if I can get these 4 tactics into my kids' heads, by the time they're 18 and ready to leave the nest, then I'm doing good. Their spiritual, character, life skills, and academics. The third component inside our family is to address our extended family. We're not just a nuclear family with the people around us. The thing that woke me up really with creating deeper relationships with my extended family was the realization that once my kids left, I want to be a part of their family and their kids and their cousins. And also I have my nieces and nephews and my brothers and sisters that are so valuable to me because they know me. They've known me since I was little. They're blood. So this extended family is really important to me, and I decided that I would have certain hopes and dreams for how my extended family would interact not only with me, but also with my wife and my kids and each other. And so I took it upon myself to say, okay, where can I impact this? And I decided that I would set up my hopes and dreams and then address these 4 areas. The first thing is I try to send them gifts. Just little trinkets, little things, sometimes big things. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. Sometimes it's a handwritten note or just something tangible that they can get on that they get from you. And for me, I do this on a regular basis to try to stay consistent and connected with them. So send them gifts, and this is a way to connect with your family. But whatever your hopes and dreams are, support it with sending them something that supports that. Second, encourage them. You've all had that great uncle or that great aunt that made a huge impact. It may not have been a daily impact, but it may have come at the right time where they really inspired you to do something bigger than you really thought you could do. That's what I want to be for my nieces and nephews and my brothers and sisters, is sometimes because I don't see them as frequently as I can, I get to show them the greatness of what's inside them. And sometimes it takes some convincing to make them realize how great they are. But I have to look at that, define that, and then actually pursue a way to encourage them. The third thing is you've got to find time for them. You can't create this relationship inside a vacuum. Anytime I fly down to Southern California, I make it a priority to see my sister and brother-in-law and my nieces and nephews. I put it on my schedule first because it's that important to me, and I don't get that much time to be able to do that. There's certain celebrations, 4th of July and Christmas and Thanksgiving, that we make a concerted effort to be together. So I'm looking to spend time with them to be able to foster that hope and dream that I have for my extended family. And then the last thing is to find out how to serve them. Whatever you are, whatever your strengths are that you've realized inside the purpose of your personality, figure out how to bring that gift and that value to your extended family. My brother does a great job with my boys. I'm not the hunter, fisher, gatherer, but he is, and he loves this. Connecting with my brother saying, hey, can you teach them gun safety? Can you take them out fishing? Can you buy these? And my brother takes it upon himself to buy them fishing poles and bring the value that my brother does. On the flip side, I bring a different side to my nieces and nephews. I like researching the stock market and looking into companies and investing in stocks for them and goal setting with them and pushing them in the areas that they want to be pushed. So that's how I'm supporting my extended family, by supporting my dream. But if you want a great extended family, these are the components that you got to address. You got to send them gifts, encourage them, spend time with them, and serve them well. Final component of the family area is the final component of the family is the culture. creating a culture inside your family has got to be one of the funnest things that you can do. It's like salt and pepper on potatoes or French fries. It creates such a great seasoning, but it has to be built on something that's already foundational. If you haven't done the other three areas, then this portion of culture creating is not going to be all that great, because you have to have a foundation. But this is what makes family so much fun. And the first area is inside your culture is you got to create a heritage. These are the things that you're willing to go to bat for, the things you're willing to die for, to be able to pass on to your family. Whether it's your faith, whether it's something that you're going to create that's important to you, whether it's a service to the world, a mission, a nonprofit that you're going to pass on to them, something that you're going to say, this is why we live, this is what we're here for, this is what we will unite on, this is what we will put a footprint on the world from. That's your heritage. Then the next thing is to have an inheritance. We all want an inheritance passed on from generation to the next generation. We want our kids' lives to be better than what we've gotten before us. But for me, the inheritance has shifted a little bit, where I've wanted to see my kids enjoy the inheritance that I have for them while they're still alive. So we've created kind of a living inheritance type thing, and we have different milestones for our children. So at the age of 5, they get to break their piggy bank. My mother-in-law started a tradition that on the birth of each of our children, that they would be given a piggy bank, and we would plug that thing. At the age of 5, we'd smash it. When I was 5 years old, I got to smash my piggy bank at 5, and there was $32.78 in that sucker, and that was a ton of money in 1982. So they have that 5th year inheritance. We also have another milestone at 18, where they're going to be given a lump of money that we've been saving paycheck after paycheck for them. It's for them to be able to start this new chapter of their life. Another milestone marker for us is the age of 30. This is typically when most people have small families and they're still building their careers and they haven't yet arrived. They're not in their high earning dollars of their career. They're still kind of making it paycheck to paycheck, and life is tough. So at the age of 30, we're going to save and be able to bless them at that time. And then around age 60 for us, we'll start looking at passing on our trust to the next generation so that they can enjoy that while we're still alive. And then, of course, at the end of our lives, they'll get whatever's left. So create an inheritance. Whatever your hopes and dreams are, figure out the inheritance that you want to pass on to your kids. And the third thing is legacy. These are the traits that you want to pass on inside our family. We have certain traits that we've said, you know what, we're not going to be able to do everything. We're not going to be able to have all the character in the world, but these are the things that we're not willing to move on without. So our last name is Wallace, so it's W-A-L-L, and we have an attribute for each one of those letters inside our last name. W stands for work hard, because Wallace's work hard. And A stands for adventurous, because Wallace's love adventure. L stands for leadership, and the other L for loyalty, and A is for aquatic, because we love swimming, and C is for Christians, because that's our spiritual heritage, and E is encouragers. And then the last section, which I think is the most fun, is creating traditions and heirlooms. Traditions are those things that you're going to do repetitively during special moments, or things that have been just good moments for you and your family. One of the funny traditions we have is during the first snow of the year, we all go out in our swimming trunks and do snow angels in the snow. It's freezing cold. If we're next to a hot tub, it's really great, but if not, this is just something we do that's weird and wacky. And we have numerous of these things, from holidays to certain seasons of the year. We do different things, and we've defined those, and the kids know, as well as us, that when something happens, they know a specific tradition is going to get enacted. And these are the things that we talk about most inside our family, the things that we're laughing about the most inside our family, the things that we're trying to remember pictorially by taking pictures inside our family. This makes being a part of a family really important and creates a legacy. In fact, many of the traditions that we still do today, I did as a child, and some of those my parents did as children. Do you see how this culture just continues through generation after generation? And we pick the things that are important to us on purpose instead of letting them be defined for us. So, again, inside your culture, heritage, inheritance, legacy, create some traditions, and you start to build the cultures for your family.